Hi, this is Brian Whitaker with BKW Horsemanship at Wits End Ranch in New Germany, Minnesota. This is part of the continuing roping series, the comprehensive series. This particular one is rope care. So when you get your rope, what are some things that you should look for? First of all, when you get your rope, hopefully it comes like this. There's twisty ties on these. Generally there's 3, and they'll come nice coiled, nice and even. So that means to me that you probably should try and keep them this way. You should probably try and store them this way. Make sure when you hang them, or better yet, if you have some sort of rope bag, that if you put them in a bag, they're up like this. This is the Hondo. We don't want that upside down and leaning on that Hondo, because if your Hondo gets a twist the wrong way, you're going to get what's known as a backswing or a figure eight or all kinds of other things. Yeah. You can certainly hang your rope. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd probably hang it here so I'm not interfering with Hondo. There's probably nothing wrong with it. I like to hang my ropes like this. I don't want to keep my ropes in a hot truck, in a hot vehicle, in a hot trailer. Sometimes you don't have much choice. And what you can do is get some sort of rope bag. If you just have one rope or a couple of ropes and you don't want to buy a bag for now, it's totally fine. You can hang these, or you'll see later on, I always have a rope tied to my saddle. So you could do that. That's certainly fine, because you're probably going to keep your saddle in somewhat good, dry, not too scalding hot conditions. Cold doesn't seem to affect as far as the longevity of the rope. Heat, sometimes we can get some twists and stuff. But, sometimes you got a rope when it's hot and cold and wet, so that's the way it goes. I've got a few different things here. I've got 2 different rope bags. This particular one I won at a New Year's roping. It was a truck roping in Glen Rose, Texas, and it's really nothing fancy other than this leather piece they carved and did all that, which is fine. But other than that, it's nothing fancy. It's got some pockets for my dally wrap. I sometimes use baby powder, my gloves, and it's just handy for that. It's got the opening then, and see, this is where it's real handy to me, especially there's times where if you're at a competition or even somewhere and you're like, boy, this rope just doesn't feel as good, you can quickly grab another because it's got all these compartments, as you see. I've got the twisty tie on, and the Hondo's facing up. And if I need to check out, I'll just look at the tag on the bottom to see what it is. Some do have on the Hondo, like we talked about, but you'll see here it's kind of an accordion style rope bag. And it's really nice actually to be able to keep your ropes and extra stuff, gloves, whatever, in these rope bags. My tie-down calf roping years, which they still do, you can use a rope can. It's another way of storing your ropes. It's not necessarily, imperative that you use a can, but it is nice to keep, if you are competing, your tie-down cap ropes separate from your team ropes. So if you need to get a rope quick, you're not sorting through. Just to quickly show you what that looks like, this is a tie-down calf rope. In a lot of ways, they can be like a ranch rope, only they're shorter, so you would never want to use them in actual ranch situations unless you're one of the people that tie on. This is called tying on hard and fast. This just rope loops through itself through this little keeper here. And tie-down calf roping, it's a rule that you're tied on hard and fast, and your horse works the rope. A lot of people still do tie on, and there's actually team ropers, certain ages, and I believe females. I don't know if it's all females. Heeling, it's only heeling and team roping that allows you, if you qualify under those rules, to tie on. They tie on usually differently than this, but anyway, that's a different thing. But so just so you're familiar with this. Breakaway ropes are the same as tie-down calf roping ropes. in competition, that is, without a breakaway Hondo. And they don't have the same as like a 3/8 diameter or anything like that. They go in, I think it's millimeter, so you're going to see a 9.0 or a 10 and a quarter or something like that. I generally like to rope with somewhere between a 9.5 and a 10, and that also deals with the thickness of the rope. I didn't like anything smaller because I didn't want it to affect the calves. Smaller diameter ropes can kind of cut in, so I wanted a thicker one. And so think about that as if you're team roping in a header, you don't have to worry a whole lot because we have horn wraps that protect them, and these are all things we'll get into later. Heeling, you got to be careful. You don't want to hurt your animals if you can. And roping, if you do it right, you won't hurt them. So the correct diameter, handling your dally correctly, all important stuff. So I thought I'd just go over that. Here's some neck ropes you use while calf roping to keep the rope from getting behind your horse's tail. Keep your horse faced up. So that's the care of the rope. And again, here's another rope bag. It's real similar. It's accordion style. It just has 2 separate tiers. You can get as fancy if you want. If your rope bag only carries 2 ropes, that's totally fine. You can kind of use it within your budget. Generally, where you find to purchase your ropes and your dummies, you're going to find some options for a rope bag. So hope that helps, and thanks for watching.